So guys, welcome to the video. It's the best time of the week again. It's refeed, it's crumpet time. So I'm on upper body today, so I'm just about to have this and then go and train. So I will film the full session and do a walkthrough of the session as well. Before we get into that, if you could like the video, that'd be great. Subscribe if you haven't already, and enjoy the video. Absolutely boiling. It's 34 degrees apparently on my watch, according to my watch. So as I said earlier, I'm training upper today. So my current split is pull push legs Monday to Wednesday, rest on a Thursday, upper on a Friday, lower on a Saturday, rest on a Sunday, and it's actually working really well at the minute. So I've done a video on Instagram. It's quite like a long IGTV video about how to set up your training split. So I'm just going to run through how to set up your training split. So go give that a watch, but in sort of summary, basically you need to think about, first of all, your frequency. So how often can you train, and how often can you recover from that training. Then you need to think about what level you are in terms of ability and experience. So are you someone who's trained for 3 to 4 years but still has very low ability because they've not spent that much time learning how to train, or are you the opposite, someone who's 6 months in but is quite a high ability? Your ability and experience will dictate how often you can train. And then you've got to think about weak areas of your body, weak and strong areas, and work your split around that. And then also, you've got to think about enjoyment. So if you enjoy that split, and enjoy the given sort of sessions that you've got. So obviously if you want to know more about that, then go and watch the video. But for me, this split's working really well. It's nice to have Thursday and Sunday off as a schedule and know that I can plan things around that. So at the minute, Thursday's a really busy online coaching day, and Sunday is mine and Shannon's day. So I can work around that, whereas before I was doing sort of 3 on, 1 off. So obviously rest days would fall on different days, or 2 on, 1 off, 1 on, 1 off. So again, they'd fall on different days. So I like the structure. One thing I've just got to be very careful with is the volume on legs, because obviously training legs on a Wednesday and then a Saturday only gives you 2 days in between to recover. And also from Saturday legs to Monday pull, it's not long to recover. So volume wise, you've just got to be careful. But at the minute, it's a good split and it's working really well for me.
Good morning everyone, welcome to the voiceover part of this video. This is Sunday morning now, so I will get the video posted this day, later on today, and the session is Friday, so we're going to chat through Friday's upper session, and if you want to find out why I'm doing an upper session, then watch the video that I mentioned earlier on my Instagram. So started off with the lateral raise machine. Always start with lateral, primarily just to warm up the joints going into any pressing, and also to get the most out of the side delts while they're fresh. Then we went on to a low incline Smith as the main press for the day. So I was a bit stubborn, and warming up felt really good, and then I had in my head that I was going to do 3 plates. And realistically I didn't have it for the rep range of 5 to 9. But I still went for it. I got 3 plus 1. And it didn't feel like I can't progress it, which is a good thing. It felt like, okay, I've got this weight, in a few weeks I'll have that for hopefully 6 to 8. Back off set felt a lot better, and it's just a case of getting the line right. The bench was a bit off on the first set as well. Getting the line right. The reason that we do the main pressing first is so that our back's not fatigued from, let's say, we've got bent over row today. So if I was to do like a bent over row and a pull down before going into pressing, to lock my scapular back wouldn't be as easy as going into it when my back is fresh. So the pressing is first so that we can really lock in and we feel stable and the back's not fatigued. So yeah, 2 sets on the low incline, 5 to 9, and then back at 11 to 15. The back off set I did with 2 plates and a 5 either side, so 2.25 plates per side. Then we went on to the pin loaded Cybex. which I've never used before, but was really nice. Just a little bit light was the only issue. The stack is a little bit light, so I did the stack for my top set. So me and Reese need to get a gym pin, to be honest, to keep running on some of the movements, or just put in a different movement. So on our push day, we have the plate loaded Cybex shoulder press. So we could potentially do that twice, or we could do a Smith shoulder press. But I've still got a few weeks to run with that, but it felt good. So again, on that, a set of 5 to 9 and then a set of 11 to 15. What I'm trying to think as well is I'm trying to drop my elbows directly in line with the machine and not let them flare back. One thing I see a lot of people doing on shoulder press is that elbows will flare back. Same on like a chest press. Try and keep your elbow directly in line with your wrist and directly in line with the bar or the machine, and the line that the bar or the machine is going to move. Okay, it'll be a lot safer on your joints, and you'll also be a lot stronger and a lot more efficient at the movement, because you're moving it in the same line that the machine or the bar is going. Then we went on to a bent over row, so main pull work now. So we've done a lateral raise, 2 push compounds, and then onto our pulling work. So it's a tough one with the bent over row. I feel like if you try and be overly strict with your form, you'll never move any considerable weight. But then there's also a fine line of just chucking the weight. Whereas I think I found quite a nice level on both of these sets. So 140 for the first set, I think I got 8. Again, that's a set of 6 to 9. And then I did a 120 back off set. But you can see on those last few reps, I'm just sort of pausing in the stretch and trying to hang a little bit. And that's just so I can get a bit more out of the set. And I get a bit more out of my erectors and feel a little bit more like this set is almost like a fatiguing enough of a set. I feel like if I just go into it as a bent over and try and keep the form fully strict, and as soon as I can't get a good one, just stop. It just doesn't feel like a proper set to me. So hence why on those last few reps I'm hanging at the bottom, trying to get a little bit more erector out of it, trying to get a little bit more stretch in the lats, trying to get a little bit more lower lat thickness by hanging in that stretch and not just stopping as soon as the set feels like the good reps are done. What I would say to people as well is aim for your range of motion to sort of just pass your knee every rep. Sort of get to the bottom of your kneecap every rep and then drive it in. Try not have too much sort of knee bounce or head movement. A little bit of hip momentum is okay. But bent over is a tough one to get right, and I often see people either side of the line. It's either too strict and there's no load, or it's not strict enough. It's overly chucking the weight and it's just a shrug. Then we went on to the Cybex pull down. So we had to play around with the grip, and we just thought that the inner grip felt best, the neutral grip. I feel like often with a neutral grip pull down, I do feel like it's more suited to getting the back a little bit shorter, and especially a little bit more suited to the lats, because of, you can drag your elbow in a little bit tighter to your spine. On the pull day, we do a neutral grip pull down, or a D-handle pull down with the handles on there, so that we can supinate and drag our elbows in more, and it's a little bit easier on the wrists. But you could almost do that with this. Obviously you can't supinate anymore with the wrists, but you can still sort of think about dragging those elbows down and in. Again, 2 sets here, 6 to 9 and 11 to 15. Often on a lot of exercises, that'll be the rep range. And if you can really take sets there, then that's enough. A lot of people, that's not going to be enough if they can't train with that much intensity and that accurately to get the specific muscle close enough to failure. If that's the case and you're sort of struggling to actually train with a lot of intensity and take the muscle close to failure, then maybe worth having a 3rd or a 4th set in, so you feel like you're doing enough. Because often I see people, I do 2 sets, but they're 2 sets they don't look like a warm-up set. So it's trying to get those people to learn that level of intensity. Then we went on to a cable shrug, and again, only issue stack was too light, so we had to add a 20 to the pin. 2 sets here, one of 8 to 10, one of 12 to 15, just really thinking to pull up and back, hence why I'm leaning back. I also use my wraps on that against the rope, which helps, because often your grip will let you down on a shrug. Actually, on any pull movement other than like a pullover or a rear delt or a bicep curl, use your wraps. I see people far too often not using wraps, and you're limiting your back and your hamstrings and your glutes from so much growth just because you won't use wraps because you want bigger forearms. It's stupid. Then we went on to the pec deck, 2 sets of 12-15, which was good, just getting some blood in there. Still two tough sets, still taking them to failure within that rep range, but just a little bit more metabolic work now, and a little bit higher rep ranges rather than like a 6 to 9 set on these kind of isolations towards the end of the session. And then the same on the rear delt, a couple of 12 to 15 sets. On the pec deck, I'm thinking scapula back, and I'm thinking don't let my shoulders come forward and elbows together. On the rear delt, I'm thinking shoulders forward, don't let them come back, and elbows drive them out. Again, if you want to know sort of why that's the case, then watch my Anatomy Explained videos that I post every Monday on Instagram, because they sort of explain as to why that's the case and what the movement patterns are doing and how they're targeting each muscle. Then we had a preacher curl, but the machine didn't feel great. So you can see here, what I did was I tried the machine, I didn't like it, it didn't feel good. So we set up our own preacher with the cable. So we used the actual freestanding preacher curl and then used the cable and set it up that way, and felt loads better. And then we finished off with a cuffed crossbody extension. On the other day we got a normal one where we just hold the balls, but this felt better, so I may just change the other day to this as well. It felt a lot better. I felt like I could take the tricep further to failure without worrying about my grip on the ball and it hurting your hand. So yeah, that was the session. Really, really good. If anyone's got any questions or comments, please ask, and I will leave the video with a physique update that I did at the end of the session. So obviously the angle isn't great for what you can see, but so it's just from the side. So I am currently 11 weeks out from the UKDFBA. Still unsure what's going to happen with the BNBF, with the shows being pushed back till probably really late, because of the gym's not opening until I think it's like the 10th of September in Scotland, and it's run by Scottish people, the BNBF. So it's either gonna, I'm sure they'll still have shows, but I think they'll be really late in the year. But I'm 11 weeks out from the UKDFBA. If that all goes ahead, that's how I'm looking. Still feel pretty good. Don't feel like I'm struggling with prep. Don't feel too hungry at times. Don't feel too tired, too drained at times. I'm just sound really. Like I'm enjoying being at this body weight. I feel quite comfortable at this body weight. I think I'm used to being this body weight from when I've always been used to staying pretty lean. So yeah, training's going really well. Especially now back in the gym. Didn't realise I missed it as much. I thought, yeah, I did miss it during lockdown, but because I was still training, it didn't feel like I missed it as much as I really did. So that's all good. Great to be back in the gym. Food's fine. No change to food lately. Still dropping at a decent rate. Hovering between sort of 178 and 180 at the minute. Tend to weigh a little heavier after rest days, just because not sort of as many calories burned, not sweating as much. Not as much fluid shift, things like that. But yeah, all is going really, really well. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. If anyone's got any questions, please ask. If you could like the video, that'd be great, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next one.